We're rolling. Hello everyone, we're back this month, the month of May, for another FAQ where we ask you guys to ask us questions and in turn we answer them willingly, gladly, without hesitation or dissatisfaction. Anyway, first question is, what are the other alternatives to silent jamming equipment at home instead of using a Jamhub? So a Jamhub is something where you can, an entire band can plug into it and then you listen to each other on headphones so you don't bother anyone outside of your home. So an alternative would be the TC Helicon blender. So that I believe is you can connect up to 6 people I think on the device and you can jam with headphones. So that is the alternative to the Jamhub. Anyway, no question, but just want to say keep out the good work. Tears of joy. Next question. String gauges for 7 8 string multi-scale guitar were half step down, 1 step down, drop tuning. Well, I never used an 8 string before, but I can definitely talk to you about 7 string gauges. So I have a multi-scale where the 7th string is a 27-inch scale. So when playing drop A, a 10 to 59 is alright. And when I say drop A, just the 7th string being dropped. But typically, if you're not using a 27, minimum it should be a 26.5. So I guess you need to use, for half step down, you gotta at least have the thickest string to be 59. If you're going down to B flat. Going to A, I think you need at least 62, and any lower than that, you're going to need at least 65. So it will depend on you on how tight you want it to be and how loose you want the thinner strings to be, so you can still solo on them. But yeah, definitely a 59 for multi-scale, right? I would never use a 59 on a standard scale guitar. So just remember that if you're using a multi-scale, then you can escape with the 59 being used half step down, at least a 62 when you're going a whole step down, and at least 65 when you're going any lower than that. Next question. Difference between Edward, ESP, LTD. So the main parent company is ESP, and ESP makes a variety of instruments under different sub-brands. So ESP is the main Japanese guys. They have ESP Signature Series, Originals, so that is mainly a custom shop. And then if you go below that, you have the ESP E2s. So the E2s are basically a production run of the custom shops. So like the most commonly requested colors and stuff, they make it into a production run. So that is the E2, still made in Japan. And then you have Edward, which is basically Japan's LTD. So LTD is a sub-brand of ESP, kind of like Gibson Epiphone, Fender Squier. So they aim to bring you import versions of the guitar at a much more affordable price. So LTD guitars, they are made in a variety of factories ranging from China, Indonesia, Korea. So Edward is meant for the Japanese market, although we can still get it here outside in Japan, but it was first established to be the LTD of Japan, and LTD was for the rest of the world. And then below Edwards, you actually have Navigator, which is also mainly for the Japanese market because they make lawsuit guitars. So if you look at the Navigator designs, they are very, Les Paul, Strat, jazz bass, that kind of stuff. So it was that brand was, started catered to the lawsuit models in Japan. And then below that, you also have Grassroots, which is like a very entry-level guitar for the Japanese market. So those all the sub-brands under ESP. I just explained it in 1 minute. Next question. Compressor before or after audio distortion? Definitely before, because distortion in overdrive is already compressing the signal. So putting a compressor after a compressed signal to me doesn't make any sense. So you definitely put a compressor before the overdrive and distortion. Next question. Klon type pedal is a clean boost or OD? Definitely a boost for a driven channel. So you gotta set your amp to like an edge of breakup, and then you use the Klon to push that even further, and you definitely want a tube amp for that. If you're using a Klon style pedal into a solid state and using it in a clean channel and using it as a drive, I don't think you're making full use of the Klon. The magic does not lie there. The magic lies in the Klon pushing a slightly driven amp, a slightly driven tube amp into further saturated or thicker territory. Next question. Klon into TS or the other way around? It depends, because a TS style pedal tends to remove a lot of low end. Klon kind of has the low end, so it depends. If you have the Klon first and then the TS style pedal, you're gonna knock down the low end that the Klon provides. So you gotta try and see which way you prefer. I think I have an old video on this where I was demoing the Wampler, Tumnus, and the Clarksdale and the Uleve, these three pedals. So the Tumnus is a Klon style pedal and Clarksdale is a TS style pedal. The signal chain around in that video, so you can check that out. That seems like the last question, lah. God damn, son.
Dave, I got a question for you.
What?
What's your recommended gear for this month?
Recommended gear for the month. Recommended gear for the month. My fellow colleague asked me there in the corner, sitting in the dark. I would say some of the interesting models that I've tested this month is number one, the Earthquaker Devices Special Cranker. It's such a good overdrive. We just shot a demo for that. You can check that out. In terms of guitars, I think a few guitars caught my attention. One is the LTD TE1000 and one is the LTD Viper 1000, both of which where demos will be coming up in the subsequent months. So there you go. That is all we have for this month's FAQ. Short and sweet, real fast. And we thank you so much for putting up with my shenanigans, and please ask us more questions in the video down below, or you can follow our Instagram page where we will post a monthly story to ask you guys to ask us whatever the heck you want to ask us. So there you go. Give us a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content and leave a comment down below and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Patrick Star. This is Patrick. This is not pizza.